The shotgun blast echoed through the cornfields like God's own thunder. But it was just Old Man Hargrove's way of saying good morning to the world. Caleb froze on the porch steps, his coffee mug slipping from numb fingers, shattering against the warped oak boards, because that wasn't a warning shot. It was aimed at the family dog, now limping bloody through the yard. And in that split second, as his father's silhouette loomed in the kitchen doorway, reeking of bourbon and regret, Caleb knew. This was the end of pretending, the unraveling of every lie they'd buried under the weight of Midwestern soil. Caleb's boots crunched over the gravel as he bolted toward the dog, heart slamming against his ribs like a caged bird desperate for flight. "Rusty! Hey boy, come on!" His voice cracked, raw as the November wind whipping off Lake Michigan, carrying the metallic tang of blood and gunpowder. The golden retriever whimpered, collapsing into the frost-kissed grass, one hind leg twisted at an impossible angle. Caleb dropped to his knees, hands trembling as he cradled Rusty's head, the dog's brown eyes glassy with confusion and pain. "It's okay. It's gonna be okay," he murmured. But the words tasted like ash. Nothing was okay. Not since last night, when he'd finally whispered the truth to his father over a dinner of overcooked pot roast and unspoken accusations. Tom Whitaker had always been a man of silences. Heavy, unyielding ones that filled the old farmhouse like smoke from the chimney he refused to fix. But last night, after Caleb's confession tumbled out in a rush of stuttered syllables, "Dad, I'm gay. I've been seeing someone, Nathan, from the city." The silence shattered. Tom's face had drained of color, then flushed beet red, veins bulging in his neck like rivers about to flood. "You what?" he'd growled, fork clattering to the plate. "In my house? Under my roof?" The questions had escalated into shouts, accusations flying like buckshot. Unnatural, sinful, a betrayal of the family name, the farm, the God-fearing life they'd scraped together after Caleb's mom died of cancer when he was 12. Now, in the cold light of dawn, Tom stood there, the double barrel still smoking in his grip, eyes wild and unfocused. "Get that mutt outta here," he snarled, voice thick with the slur of hangover. "Ain't no room for weakness on this land. Not from you, not from him." He jerked his chin toward Rusty, but Caleb knew it was meant for him, for the son who dared to love wrong in a town where love was supposed to be straight as the rows of corn stretching to the horizon. Caleb's chest burned, a firestorm of rage and grief. He scooped Rusty up, the dog's weight heavy against his chest, and backed away toward his truck parked in the drive. "You shot him, Dad. For what? To prove a point." His voice rose, breaking the farm's eternal quiet. The neighbors' lights flickered on in distant windows, but no one came. In Harlan, Iowa, population 1,247, give or take a funeral, no one interfered in Whitaker family business. Tom lowered the gun, but his stance was unyielding, a oak tree rooted in denial. "I did what I had to, just like I'm gonna do for you. Pack your shit and go, before I regret not aiming higher." The words landed like blows, each one carving deeper into the boy who'd spent his life trying to earn his father's approval. Fixing fences at dawn, driving the combine through harvest storms, burying his secrets in the back of the barn where the hay bales muffled his sobs. Caleb didn't argue. He couldn't. With Rusty cradled in one arm, he yanked open the truck door, tossing in blankets to make a nest. The engine roared to life, a Chevy Silverado that had been his granddad's, now his only inheritance worth a damn. As he peeled out, tires spitting gravel like accusations, he caught Tom's reflection in the rearview. A broken man, shoulders slumped, the shotgun dangling like a cross he couldn't bear. The drive to Des Moines blurred into a haze of tears and taillights. Caleb's phone buzzed incessantly. Texts from his sister, Mia, who must have heard the shot. "What the hell happened? Dad's raging. Call me." He ignored them, focusing on the highway's hypnotic lines, the sprawl of flatlands giving way to the city's edge. Nathan. He needed Nathan. The man who'd slipped into his life like sunlight through cracked barn slats, warm and unexpected. They'd met 6 months back at a county fair in Ames. Nathan, with his city polish and easy laugh, volunteering at the LGBTQ outreach booth amid the funnel cakes and Ferris wheel lights. Caleb had wandered over out of curiosity, nursing a Bud Light, pretending he was just killing time. But Nathan's smile, crooked, genuine, framed by a jawline that could cut glass, had hooked him. First time, Nathan had asked, handing him a rainbow pin. Caleb had flushed, nodding, and just like that, conversations turned to stolen kisses in the shadow of the livestock barns. Nathan lived in a converted loft above a coffee shop in the East Village, all exposed brick and mismatched furniture that screamed, "I'm from Chicago, but Iowa's growing on me." He was a graphic designer, freelance, with clients from New York to LA, but he'd moved west for the slower pace, chasing roots he never quite found. "Family's complicated," he'd said once, tracing patterns on Caleb's chest under the covers. "But you're simple in the best way. Real." Caleb pulled up to the curb, the truck idling rough. He killed the engine and hauled Rusty inside, the loft stairs a Herculean effort with the dog's dead weight. "Nathan!" he called, voice echoing off the high ceilings. Footsteps thundered down from the bedroom, and there he was, hair tousled from sleep, wearing nothing but boxers and a faded Blackhawks tee, eyes widening at the sight. "Jesus, Caleb, what happened?" Nathan dropped to his knees beside them, hands gentle on Rusty's flank, assessing the wound with the calm of someone who'd patched up his share of strays. "Is this gunshot?" Caleb nodded, throat too tight for words. Nathan didn't press. Instead, he grabbed the first aid kit from under the sink, stocked for emergencies like this, because life with Caleb Whitaker was never dull, and set to work cleaning the leg, murmuring soft reassurances. "He's tough, like his owner." When the bleeding slowed, Nathan looked up, green eyes meeting hazel. "Talk to me." It spilled out then, the confession, the fight, the shot. Nathan listened, jaw clenched, until Caleb finished, slumped against the wall like a puppet with cut strings. "He kicked you out? For this? For us?" Nathan's voice was steel wrapped in velvet, anger simmering beneath the concern. "Yeah." Caleb's laugh was bitter, hollow. "Said there's no room for weakness. Like loving you makes me weak." Nathan crossed the floor in 2 strides, pulling Caleb into his arms, holding him fierce and unyielding. "Loving you makes you the strongest man I know." Their lips met, soft at first, then urgent, an anchor in the storm. But even as warmth bloomed in Caleb's chest, a shadow lingered. This wasn't just about him anymore. It was the farm, Mia, the legacy Tom had beaten into him with calloused hands and cold expectations. And somewhere, buried deep in the attic of that old house, was a truth Caleb had unearthed last summer, one that could either mend or demolish what was left of his family. They spent the morning at the vet, Nathan driving, Caleb in the passenger seat stroking Rusty's ears, whispering promises of fields yet to run. The doc said the leg would heal, but it'd be a limp forever, a scar like the ones Caleb carried inside. "Much like life," the vet quipped, an old queer himself with stories etched in his wrinkles. Back at the loft, Nathan cooked eggs and bacon, forcing Caleb to eat while they planned. "Stay here, as long as you need. We turn that spare room into an office for the farm accounts you handle remotely. Make it work." Caleb wanted to believe it could be that simple. But Harlan wasn't Des Moines. It was a place where whispers traveled faster than Wi-Fi, and Tom's temper was legend. By noon, Mia called again. "Caleb, please. Dad's drinking himself stupid. Says you lied to him your whole life. What the hell's going on?" He told her, bits and pieces, enough to stem the panic but not the full weight. Mia, 25 to his 23, was the buffer, the one who'd held him after Mom's funeral, taught him to tie a tie for prom, even though he went stag. She worked as a nurse in Cedar Rapids, married to a solid guy named Jake, but she'd always suspected Caleb's secrets. "I'm proud of you," she said softly. "But Dad, he's scared. Of losing you. Of what it means for the farm." "The farm'll survive without me," Caleb muttered. "Always has." "No, it won't. Not if you bail." Her voice hardened. "Come back. Talk to him. Before he burns it all down." Caleb hung up, staring at the skyline from Nathan's window, skyscrapers piercing the gray, a world away from silos and sermons. Nathan slid up behind him, arms wrapping around his waist. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. But running, that's not you. By evening, Rusty was snoring on a pile of blankets, doped on pain meds. Caleb paced the loft, phone in hand, the pull of home like gravity. He thought of the letters, the ones he'd found in the attic, yellowed envelopes tied with twine, addressed to Tom from a man named Elias. Love letters, raw and poetic, from the 80s, when AIDS was a shadow and silence was survival. Elias, Tom's high school sweetheart, dead too young, his memory erased like a chalkboard after class. Caleb had stumbled on them while fixing the roof, read them in secret, piecing together a father he never knew. Vulnerable, alive with a love society deemed wrong. Revealing that now, it could humanize Tom, show him the mirror of his own hypocrisy. Or it could destroy him, drag the family into a grave of old wounds. Caleb waited all as Nathan slept beside him that night, the city humming below like a lullaby. Dawn would bring decisions, but for now, in the quiet, he let himself dream of a world where love didn't come loaded. The road back to Harlan stretched like a scar across the Iowa plains, each mile marker a reminder of fractures too deep to mend with words alone. Caleb gripped the wheel, Nathan in the passenger seat with a thermos of coffee and a playlist of Springsteen ballads, born to run on repeat, because Nathan knew music was Caleb's balm for the soul. Rusty rode in the truck bed, bandaged and bumpier, but alive. You sure about this? Nathan asked, hand on Caleb's knee, thumb tracing circles that grounded him. No, but Mia's right. Can't let it fester. Caleb's voice was steady, but his gut churned. The farm wasn't just land. It was Mom's roses by the porch, the swing set rusted but standing, the weight of generations who'd tilled the same soil since the Dust Bowl. Walking away meant abandoning more than dirt, it meant orphaning himself twice over. They arrived at dusk, the sun bleeding orange into the horizon, painting the silos like rusted sentinels. Mia's Prius was already parked, her and Jake silhouetted on the porch, faces taut with worry. Tom was nowhere in sight, but his absence screamed louder than any shout. He's in the barn, Mia said, hugging Caleb fierce. Then Nathan with a nod of quiet solidarity. Cooling off, or plotting Armageddon. Take your pick. Jake clapped Caleb on the back, his grip firm. Heard you fixed that tractor last spring. Man's got no business shooting dogs over feelings. A mechanic by trade, Jake was the brother Caleb never had, straight shooter literally and figuratively. Inside, the kitchen smelled of stale coffee and regret. Mia brewed fresh, pouring for everyone as they settled at the scarred oak table. Nathan hung back, respectful, but his presence was a shield, warm at Caleb's side. So, Mia started, eyes flicking between them. Nathan, the city boy who's got my brother's heart in a twist. Nathan chuckled, low and easy. Guilty, but it's mutual. He squeezed Caleb's hand under the table, a secret Morse code of I've got you. They talked then, really talked, for the first time. Caleb laid it out. The loneliness of hiding, the stolen weekends in Des Moines, the way Nathan made him feel seen, not shamed. Mia listened, tears brimming, Jake nodding along. Love's love, Jake said simply. Ain't no farm rule against it. But Tom loomed like a storm cloud. When his boots thudded on the porch, the air thickened. He burst in, eyes bloodshot, flannel shirt untucked and stained. His gaze locked on Nathan like a hawk spotting prey. The hell's he doing here? Tom spat, ignoring Caleb. Dad. Caleb stood, but Tom waved him off, slamming a bottle of Jack on the counter. Out, both of ya. This is family business. His voice was gravel, but beneath it, Caleb heard the tremor, the fear of a man staring down his own ghosts. Nathan rose, chin lifted. With respect, sir. Caleb's my family too. The words hung, bold as brass, and for a heartbeat, Tom's face flickered. Surprise? Respect? Then it hardened again. Respect? You corrupted my boy. turned him. Tom choked, fists clenching. Get out before I finish that thought. Caleb stepped between them, chest to chest with the man who'd raised him. No, Dad, you don't get to do this. Not anymore. The room spun, words he'd rehearsed in the truck tumbling free. You think this is new? Some phase? I've been this way since I knew what wanting felt like. And Nathan? He's the best thing that's happened to me since Mom died. Tom recoiled as if slapped. Don't you bring her into. Why not? Caleb pressed, voice rising. She knew. She saw it in me even when you were too busy plowing fields to notice. And she loved me anyway, just like she loved you despite. He trailed off, the letters burning in his mind like embers. Mia's hand on his arm steadied him. Dad, sit. Please. We're all hurting here. Tom's eyes darted, to the bottle, to the door, to the son he barely recognized. With a grunt, he sank into a chair, the fight leaching out like air from a punctured tire. Nathan poured him coffee, black and strong, setting it down without a word. The gesture disarmed Tom, if only for a moment. They talked haltingly then, words scraping like rusted hinges. Tom grumbled about tradition. The church picnic where tongues would wag, the bank loan hanging over the farm like a noose. What'll folks say? Whitaker boy's one of them. The slur landed soft, but it stung. They'll say he's brave, Nathan countered quietly. And if they don't, screw him. Life's too short for small-town small-mindedness. Tom's laugh was bitter, a bark without humor. Easy for you, city slicker. You don't got roots here. Roots can be replanted, Caleb said, meeting his father's gaze. But they rot if you poison the soil. The evening frayed into uneasy truce. Mia and Jake stayed for dinner. Lasagna from a frozen tray, eaten in silence broken by Rusty's tail thumps from his bed by the stove. Tom avoided Nathan's eyes, but he didn't chase him out. Progress, Caleb thought, fragile as eggshell. Later, as stars pricked the velvet sky, Caleb and Nathan stepped onto the porch, breath fogging in the chill. The swing creaked under their weight, a relic from Caleb's childhood. That went better than I expected, Nathan murmured, head on Caleb's shoulder. Better than a shotgun welcome. Caleb's fingers intertwined with Nathan's, the simple act a rebellion. But doubt gnawed. Tom's silences were weapons, and this one felt loaded. Inside, Mia cornered Caleb by the sink. He'll come around. But Dad, he's carrying stuff. Old stuff. You see it. Caleb nodded, throat tight. Yeah, I do. She hugged him then, fierce and fleeting. Don't let him break you. You're the best of us. Sleep came fitful in Caleb's old room. Nathan's warmth a bulwark against nightmares of blasts and betrayals. Dawn brought birdsong and the scent of dew, but also Tom's truck rumbling to life. He was gone before coffee, off to the co-op, leaving a note. Fields need tending. We'll talk later. Cryptic, but not a dismissal. Caleb spent the day mending fences. Literal ones, barbed wire snagging his gloves as Nathan handed tools, their laughter echoing across the acres. It felt normal, almost, until the pastor's wife drove by, slowing to stare, her wave stiff as starch. Gossip's shadow, long even in daylight. By afternoon, Mia called from the hospital. Dad's in the ER. Heart scare. Get here now. The world tilted. Caleb floored it to Cedar Rapids. Nathan white-knuckled beside him, Rusty whining in the back. Traffic blurred. Prayers unspoken on Caleb's lips. Not yet. Not like this. The hospital was a sterile maze, beeps and bleach assaulting the senses. Mia met them in the hall, eyes red-rimmed. Mild episode. Stress, they say. He's stable, but he's asking for you, Caleb. Tom lay propped in bed, for dripping like tears, skin ashen under the fluorescent glare. His eyes, when they met Caleb's, were stripped bare. No armor, just a man frayed at the edges. Son, he rasped, voice a whisper. Didn't mean for this. Caleb sank into the chair, Nathan hovering by the door like a sentinel. The shot? Or the rest? All of it. Tom's hand twitched, as if reaching, then fell. Scared me. Seeing you, like that, reminded me too much of Elias. The name dropped like a stone in still water. Tom's breath hitched, eyes widening. How? Attic. Last summer. Caleb's voice was steady, but his heart thundered. I read the letters. All of them. Silence stretched, taut as wire. Nathan shifted, sensing the shift, but stayed silent. Tom's face crumpled, tears carving tracks down weathered cheeks. He was everything. My first. My only till your mom. But the world took him. AIDS. 87. And I buried it. Buried him. To survive. Caleb leaned forward, hand covering his father's. You think I don't know that fear? Hiding who I am? But Dad, loving Nathan doesn't make me him. It makes me alive. Like you were with Elias. Tom's sob was guttural, raw. I failed you. Failed us all. No. Caleb's tears fell now, hot and unashamed. We fix it. Together. Nathan stepped in then, clasping Tom's other hand. We're family now, Tom. All of us. The room held them. Father and son, lover and legacy. As monitors beeped a fragile rhythm. Outside, snow flurried, blanketing the world in white forgiveness. But healing's path is crooked, and Harlan's roads wound tighter still. Discharge papers crinkled in Tom's pocket like accusations as they drove home. The three of them crammed in the Silverado's cab. Nathan at the wheel this time, Caleb shotgun, Tom in back nursing a thermos of broth. The hospital had released him with warnings. Rest, meds, lifestyle changes. No more bourbon, the doc had said, eyeing the farmer like he was just another bad habit to kick. Tom had grunted assent, but Caleb knew better. Change came slow as thawing earth. Back at the farm, Mia had rallied. Stocked the fridge, aired the sheets, even strung lights on the porch like it was Christmas early. To remind us there's joy in the mess, she said, hugging Tom gingerly. Jake fired up the grill despite the chill, burgers sizzling as stars wheeled overhead. For the first time in memory, dinner was a gathering, not a gauntlet. Nathan told stories of Chicago winters, blizzards that buried cars, and Tom actually chuckled. Rusty, but real. Recalling the '93 flood that turned fields to lakes. You're all right, kid? Tom muttered to Nathan over pie, the words slurred soft by fatigue. For a Flatlander. Nathan grinned, elbowing Caleb. High praise. I'll take it. That night, Caleb lay awake, Nathan's breath steady beside him. The old twin bet a squeeze that felt like home. Tom's revelation had cracked the dam, but floods carve canyons. What came next? The farm teetered on bankruptcy, loans overdue since the drought 2 summers back. Caleb's remote accounting gig helped, but it wasn't enough. And whispers in town. They'd swell to roars once Tom's heart scare hit the prayer chain. Morning brought chores and clarity. Tom was up at first light, stubborn as ever, insisting on checking the herd. Caleb joined him, the two trudging through mist-shrouded pastures, breath clouding like ghosts. About Elias, Tom started, voice low as they mucked stalls. Didn't want you carrying my shame. It's not shame, Dad. It's history. Caleb forked hay, muscles aching in rhythm. And mine's not yours to judge. Tom paused, pitchfork still. Saw you two last night. The way he looks at you. Like you're the damn horizon. A pause. Heavy. Your mom looked at me that way once. Before the cancer stole her fire. Caleb's throat tightened. She was fire till the end. Yeah. Tom's eyes misted, distant. She knew about Elias. Made me promise to live honest for you kids. Failed that one. You're not failing now. Caleb clapped his shoulder, the gesture bridging years. Let Nathan in. Let us build something. Tom nodded, slow, and for a moment the barn felt sacred, manure and all. Nathan, meanwhile, dove into the farm like a man possessed. Armed with his laptop, he mocked up logos for a CSA box, community-supported agriculture, city folks paying premium for authentic Iowa bounty. Tourists eat this shit up, he said, showing Caleb renders of sun-kissed tomatoes and hand-lettered tags. We brand it right, we save the place. Caleb laughed, pulling him close in the kitchen. You're a dreamer, Chicago. You're a dreamer. Nathan's kiss was lazy, lingering, the kind that promised tomorrows. But Mia's call shattered it, urgent, edged with panic. Church meeting tonight. Emergency session. Dad's the topic. Tom's face darkened over lunch. Pastor Hale's stirring pots. Says my lifestyle choices, hell, he means you brought on the heart attack. Divine judgment. Rage flared in Caleb's gut. We go. Face it. Nathan shook his head. Not we. You and Tom. This is your ground. The Harlan Community Church squatted on Main Street like a judgmental toad, steeple piercing the twilight. Inside, pews groaned under the weight of gossip. Farmers in Carhartts, wives in pearls, all eyes on the Whitakers as they filed in. Pastor Hale, a bull of a man with a Bible-thumping baritone, stood at the pulpit, sermon primed. Brothers and sisters, we gather in crisis. Our brother Tom faces affliction and whispers of sin in his house. Enough! Tom's voice boomed, steady as silo shadow. Head swiveled. He rose, hand on Caleb's knee for balance. My son's here, and he's welcome. Same as me. Murmurs rippled. Hale blustered. Tom, the good book, says love thy neighbor. Tom met every gaze, unflinching. Caleb's my blood. Loves a man named Nathan. Good man. And if that's sin, then so was Elias to me, back when I was young and stupid enough to hide it. Gasps echoed, a collective inhale. Elias's name hung, unearthed after decades. Old-timers shifted. Mr. Jenkins, who'd farmed beside Tom, nodding slow recognition. Hale sputtered, but the tide turned. A woman in the third row, Mrs. Ellis, stood. Tom Whitaker's salt of the earth. His boys the same. Leave judgment to the Lord. The meeting dissolved into awkward hymns, but the air had shifted, cracked open, like earth after rain. Outside, under sodium lamps, Tom clapped Caleb's back. Proud of you, son. First time I meant it without strings. Caleb's eyes burned. Love you, Dad. Back home, Nathan waited with beer and a fire in the hearth. Heard the town telegraph. You two legends yet. Tom snorted, accepting a bottle. Legends or lepers? Time'll tell. They sat late, stories flowing. Elias's laugh like thunder. Nathan's city mishaps. Mia's wild nursing tales via speakerphone. Laughter wove through grief, a thread of gold. But betrayal brews in quiet corners. 2 days later, as snow dusted the eaves, Caleb found the letter in the mailbox. Anonymous, typed on plain stock. Knew your dad in '86. He didn't just hide Elias. He ran. Left him dying alone in that Chicago flophouse. Coward. Wonder what your precious Nathan thinks of blood like that? A photo clipped inside. Young Tom, arm around Elias in a faded Polaroid, both smiling fierce, before the end. Caleb's hands shook, the paper crumpling. Truth twisted. He'd read the letters. Elias had begged Tom to stay, but the farm called, fear paralyzed. Not cowardice, survival. But words like that, they festered. He burned it in the sink, flame-licking lies, but the ash lingered in his lungs. Telling Nathan meant risking the fragile bridge. Silence meant carrying poison alone. That night, as they lay tangled, Nathan sensed the storm. What's eating you? Caleb kissed him deep, buying time. Just ghosts. But ghosts have long shadows, and dawn brought a reckoning neither saw coming. The anonymous letter haunted Caleb like a bad harvest. Yellowed edges in his mind, even after the flames devoured it. He threw himself into work, dawn to dusk, repairing the irrigation lines frozen by an early freeze, tallying yields on Nathan's borrowed laptop, anything to outrun the doubt. Tom noticed, of course, paternal radar sharp as ever. Something gnawing at ya? He asked over breakfast, bacon sizzling like accusations. Caleb shrugged, forcing a grin. Just the bank breathing down our necks. That CSA pitch Nathan's got mock-ups. Could turn it. Tom grunted approval, but his eyes lingered, probing. Boy's good for you. Don't let old crap sour it. Old crap. If only. The photo. Tom and Elias, young and unscarred, burned brighter than the letter. Caleb had glimpsed it in the attic bundle, a snapshot of joy before tragedy. But the note's spin? It painted Tom as the villain who'd abandoned his love to die alone, penniless in a Chicago tenement. Partial truth. Elias had moved east for treatment, experimental drugs that failed. Tom had wired money, visited once, but fear of discovery, of the farm, the town, his budding family with Caleb's mom, kept him away. Regret, not malice. Yet doubt whispered, what if Nathan sees only the coward? Nathan, oblivious, buzzed with plans. He drove to Des Moines for a print run of flyers, vibrant, touting Whitaker roots, farm fresh love from Iowa's heart, and returned with takeout pho, a city treat in their rural bubble. Taste this, he said, feeding Caleb a noodle, eyes dancing. Spicy like you. Caleb laughed, but it rang hollow. They ate on the porch swing, Rusty at their feet, the dog's limp a mirror to his own uneven steps. Nathan's hand in his felt like salvation, but salvation's price was honesty. Remember when you said family complicates? Caleb ventured, stars winking overhead. Nathan nodded, slurping broth. Yeah, mine's a mess. Dad bailed when I was 10, Mom's on husband 5. Why? Just. Tom's past. With Elias. It's messy. Nathan set his bowl down, turning full. We all got messes. Yours doesn't scare me. The words eased the knot, but not enough. Sleep came fractured. Dreams of letters raining like locusts. Midweek, betrayal struck not from ink, but flesh. Caleb was in town for feed at Harlan Feed and Supply when Buzz Harlan, pastor's nephew, barbershop bigot with a buzz cut to match, sidled up, smirking. Heard your old man's queer as a $3 bill. Explains a lot 'bout you. Caleb's blood iced. Watch your mouth, Buzz. Buzz leaned in, breath sour with chew. Got proof. That letter circulatin'? I sent it. Figured someone oughta know the Whitakers' dirty laundry. Your pa left his fag lover to rot. Fist connected before thought. Caleb's knuckles splitting Buzz's lip. Chaos erupted, shouts, shelves toppling, the owner yanking them apart. Out! Both of ya! Mr. Larson bellowed, face purple. Caleb stormed to the truck, hands throbbing, rage alive wire. He drove blind, tires chewing dirt roads until the quarry's edge, where he parked and screamed into the wind, primal purging. Nathan found him there hours later. Mia's text the beacon. Fight at the store. Where is he? Nathan slid in, silent at first, then, talk. Caleb did, the dam-breaking letter photo punch. Nathan listened, face unreadable, until, you think I judge Tom? For being human. He abandoned Elias, Caleb whispered, shame hot. What if that's in me? Nathan cupped his face. Fierce. Bullshit. You're here. Fighting. That's not abandonment. Their foreheads touched, breaths mingling. But Buzz? That's the real poison. Confront Tom. Together. Home was a war council. Tom sat at the kitchen table, knuckles white around coffee. Mia patching Caleb's hand. Larson called. Buzz is pressing charges. Assault. Tom's eyes flashed. Serves the bastard right. But son, violence. It sticks. I know. Caleb sank down, Nathan at his side. Dad, the letter. Buzz sent it. About Elias. Tom's face drained. Heard rumors. Didn't believe. He trailed, then straightened. Truth's this. I was a coward. Elias got sick, moved to the city for clinics. I followed once, saw him wasting away, tubes, pain. Promised I'd come back. But your mom. We were courtin', and the farm needed me. Sent checks, calls, but I didn't go again. He died alone, cursing my name in a letter I burned. Tom's voice cracked. Hated myself for it. Still do. Silence blanketed. Heavy. Mia's tears fell silent. Nathan's hand found Tom's shoulder. You carried that alone. That's hell. Tom nodded, broken. Can't change it. But for Caleb, I won't run again. Resolution hardened then. Press charges? No, Larson mediated a deal. Caleb's apology, Buzz's retraction, community service for both. Keeps it local, Tom said. No cops, no spectacle. But Buzz's poison spread. Church pews emptied Sundays. Feed store shuns turned cold. The CSA launch faltered. First subscribers bailed, citing family values. Nathan's flyers curled in the wind, dreams deflated. Climax brewed in the storm of a late blizzard, winds howling like banshees. Power flickered, then died, plunging the farm to ink. They huddled by candlelight, stories to ward off dark. Mia's wedding jitters, Jake's garage tales, Nathan's urban legends. Tom spoke of Elias unfiltered. Kisses in haylofts, dances at roadhouse bars, a love fierce as fire. Then thunder, not sky but truck tires on ice. Buzz, drunk and vengeful, ramming the barn door, shotgun blasts shattering windows. Come out, freaks, he bellowed, silhouette mad in headlights. Terror surged. Tom grabbed the old Remington from the closet. Caleb dialing 911. Nathan herding Mia and Jake to the cellar. Stay down, Caleb yelled, but Tom charged out, snow deviling around him. Shots cracked, Buzz's wild, Tom's warning. Chaos. A graze on Tom's arm, Buzz tackling him in the drifts. Caleb burst free, tackling Buzz, fists flying until sirens wailed distant. Nathan dragged him off, holding tight as deputies cuffed Buzz, face bloodied, raving about defending decency. Tom slumped against the truck, arm seeping. Over, he gasped. All over. Medics came, stitching wounds, physical for now. Buzz faced real charges. Assault, trespass, hate-fueled rage. Town reeled, headlines in the register. Harlan man attacks family in anti-gay fury. In the aftermath, fractures showed. Pastor Hale resigned amid outcry. Allies emerged. Mrs. Ellis starting a support group. Old Jenkins offering extra hands for spring. But trust? Shattered glass. Caleb confronted the deepest cut. His own betrayal of silence. To Nathan, post-blizzard, wrapped in quilts. I almost let that letter break us. For fear. Nathan's eyes softened. Fear's the betrayer. Not you. Their embrace was lifeline. Love's quiet roar. Yet Tom's wound festered, not flesh, but spirit. Can't stay, he confessed days later, packing a duffel. Farm's yours, Caleb. Sell it, save it, your call. But me, need to make peace with Elias. Chicago. His grave. Caleb's world cracked anew. Dad, go with your man. Build what I couldn't. Tom's hug was bone crush, tears unspoken. He left at dawn, taillights fading into fog. The farm echoed empty, legacy heavy. Tom's departure hollowed the farmhouse, leaving echoes where laughter once bounced. Off rafters, across quilts, through the heart. Caleb wandered rooms like a ghost, touching Mom's china. The banister smoothed by small hands. The attic stairs where secrets slumbered. Nathan gave space, brewing coffee strong. But his eyes tracked Caleb's drift, worry etched fine. He'll be back, Nathan said one morning, snow melting to mud outside. Men like Tom? They circle home. Mia called daily, updates thin. Tom in a Chicago motel, visiting Elias's stone in Graceland Cemetery. Gray slab etched beloved son, brother, friend. No lover's claim, but Tom left daisies, Elias's favorite, from letters Caleb now kept in a cigar box, talismans of forgiveness. He's talking to folks, Mia relayed. Support group for survivors. Says it's like lancing a boil. Caleb nodded, but the farm pressed. Bills piled like drifts. Vet for Rusty. Repairs from Buzz's rampage. The bank letter stamped final notice. Nathan's CSA relaunch gained traction. Online buzz from Des Moines bloggers, a feature in the Progressive. But Harlan's boycott lingered, locals crossing streets. Give it time, Nathan urged, sketching new logos. Intertwined roots, rainbow-veined. Time, though, was a thief. Caleb's doubts resurfaced. Whispers from the letter's ash. What if I'm like him? Running when it hurts? Nights he'd wake sweating, Nathan's arms his tether. "You're staying?" Nathan murmured, kisses chasing shadows. "We're building, not fleeing." Spring tiptoed in, tentative. Crocuses pushing through frost heave, the air sweet with thaw. Caleb planted anyway, knees in loam, seeds a gamble on grace. Nathan joined, city hands blistered on hoe, but his laugh rang true. "This dirt's got stories," he said, unearthing a rusted locket Mom's lost decades back, holding tiny photos, her and Tom, young eyes alight. The find cracked Caleb open. He showed Mia, who wept over FaceTime. "She'd love Nathan," said once. "Find someone who sees your soul, not your shadow." Soul-seeing led to decisions. They hosted a farm dinner, tentative truce with town. Potluck under strung lights, tables groaning with pies and pulled pork. Mrs. Ellis came, Jenkins too, even Larson with a grudging six-pack. Pastor Hale's replacement, a soft-spoken woman from Dubuque, offered grace. "Love's the greatest commandment. Period." Talk flowed cautious, then free. Stories of hidden lives, regrets aired like laundry. Buzz, out on bail, sent an apology via mail. Scrawled, sincere-ish. "Lost my head. Sorry for the hate." Caleb burned it, but softer this time. Tom returned mid-May, leaner, lighter, a peace sign tattoo peeking from his cuff. Elias's old ink, replicated in tribute. He pulled Caleb into a bear hug at the gate, Nathan included. Graves quiet, but he forgave, I think. Or I did. Over beer on the porch, Tom spilled. Group meetings, a bar crawl through Boys Town, tears at the memorial quilt exhibit. Felt like coming up for air after drowning. His eyes on Caleb and Nathan held new. Acceptance unforced. "You too. You're right. Real." The farm bloomed under their hands, CSA boxes shipping to urban doorsteps. A U-Pick strawberry patch drawing families. Even a pride flag fluttering discreet from the mailbox. But conflict simmered subtle. Mia's pregnancy announcement, joy laced with fear. Jake's thrilled, but town eyes. After buzz. Caleb vowed protection, but betrayal's echo lingered in a call from Chicago. Nathan's ex, Derek, designer rival, bitter breakup, tipping off a tabloid. Iowa farmer's son in gay scandal. Family secrets exposed. Splashed online, dredging Elias, the shotgun, Buzz's attack. Clicks surged, but so did hate. Voicemails vile, porch splashed with slurs in red paint. Nathan shattered then, not rage, but guilt. My past following us. I should've. Stop. Caleb pulled him close in the loft they'd claimed as theirs. City sleek amid rustic. It's noise. We're signal. But the article twisted truths. Tom as closeted abuser. Caleb the victim turned perpetrator. Jenkins quit the CSA. Larson hiked prices. Tom, raw from healing, retreated to the barn, hammering nails like furies. Climax crested at the county fair. Echo of their meeting now loaded. They manned a booth. Rainbow ribbons on jams, flyers for farm tours. Crowds milled, but eyes lingered, whispers sharp. Then Derek appeared, slick in chinos, smirk lethal. "Nathan, darling." Slumming it. Nathan stiffened, but Caleb stepped forward. "We're closed to assholes." Derek laughed, phone out. "Just documenting the freak show. For the follow-up." Tom materialized. Overalls dusty, voice thunder. "Boy, you got 5 seconds to get before I plant you like corn." Derek paled, backing off but damage done. Video viral by nightfall, comments a cesspool. Nathan fled to the truck, face buried in hands. "I can't. This is my fault. Dragging you into my chaos." Caleb knelt, world narrowing. "No, this is us. All of it." He kissed Nathan fierce, fair lights blurring. "Fight or fold." Nathan's sob was answer enough. They drove home storm-lashed, rain sheeting, hearts pounding. Tom waited with Mia and Jake, war room assembled. "We counter," Tom said, eyes steel. "Press release. Our story straight." They wrote it together, raw, real. Tom's love for Elias, Caleb's for Nathan, the farm's resilience. Nathan designed it, elegant amid ache. Posted at dawn, it trended. Whitaker roots, allies amplifying from coasts to heartland. Betrayal's sting faded, but scars remained. Derek's firm blackballed him. Buzz's trial loomed, testimony a gauntlet. Yet in the quiet, love deepened. Nathan's hand in Caleb's during plowing, Tom's tales by firelight, Mia's bump a promise of continuity. Summer swelled, heat wave haze, and with it, a choice. Sell the farm or stake deeper. Caleb weighed it walking fence lines, Rusty loping beside. Nathan joined silent support. Whatever, he said finally. It's yours. No, Caleb decided, turning. Ours. Autumn painted the fields gold and crimson. Harvest a symphony of combines and camaraderie. Volunteers from the city, queers and straights alike, filling baskets under a sky vast as hope. The farm thrived, not just surviving but singing. CSA subscriptions tripled, a farm stand ribbon cut by the new pastor, even a documentary crew sniffing around for Heartland Redemption. Caleb watched it unfold from the porch, Nathan's head on his lap, fingers carding through dark hair. We did this, he murmured, wonder soft. Nathan tilted up, grin crooked. You did. I just doodled pretty pictures. Lies. Caleb bent for a kiss, lazy with sun warmth. Rusty sprawled nearby, limp forgotten in puppy chases with Mia's toddler-to-be. Life stitching itself whole. Tom had settled into uncle mode avant la lettre, tinkering a crib from barn oak, Elias's stories now family lore, told without shame, over cider and carve-outs. He'd have loved this circus, Tom said one evening, whittling a duck for the baby. His arm scar faded to silver, heart meds a ritual swallowed with grace. But humanism's hue includes shadow. Not every thread ties neat. Buzz's trial came in October, Harlan Courthouse a tinderbox of tension. Caleb testified first, calm, facts unadorned. The punch born of provocation, the rampage a terror. Nathan followed, voice steady on love's defense. Hate like his? It breaks homes before bullets do. Tom closed, eyes on the jury. I know loss. AIDS took my Elias. Fear took years. But this boy, nod to Caleb, he taught me to hold on. Buzz, shackled and sullen, got 5 years probation, community service at the very outreach booth where Caleb met Nathan. Poetic, the judge quipped. Justice, imperfect but present. The real climax, though unfolded private. Nathan's proposal, not knees and rings, but roots. Over Thanksgiving. Table groaning with turkey. Mia radiant at 7 months. Jake carving with flourish. Nathan raised a glass. To family, the kind we choose. Later, under stars crisp as diamonds, he pressed a key into Caleb's palm. To a Des Moines plot, adjacent to the farm, for a home of their own. Not running, expanding. Caleb's yes was tear-salted. Embrace eternal. They broke ground in December. Frost be damned. Foundations poured like vows. Yet the story's heart beat humanistic, not fairy-dusted. Tom had bad days, ghosts whispering. Caleb's doubts resurfaced in quiet hours, therapy a bridge they all crossed. Mia too, unpacking her own silences as big sister. Nathan confessed Chicago scars, Derek's echo a reminder. Love demands tending. Winter wrapped them gentle, snow blanketing sins. New Year's, they stood on the hill overlooking fields. Fireworks from town blooming distant. Broke open, Caleb said, echoing the title of their saga. But look what grew. Tom nodded, arm around Mia. Worth the shatter. Nathan pulled Caleb close. To truths revealed. And in that circle, father, son, lover, sister, unborn niece. A family remade, not flawless, but fierce. Love, in America's heartland, proved no straight path, but a winding road, rich with revelation. The end came not tragic, but tender. A wedding in spring, under the old oak by the pond. Caleb in a suit borrowed from Jake. Nathan in linen soft, vows exchanged simple. I see you, all of you, and I stay. Tom walked Caleb down the aisle. Makeshift, petals from Mom's roses, eyes wet. Proud, he whispered. Always now. Guests mingled, Harlan holdouts, city kin. Elias's spirit in a quilt draped the archmia. Belly full, danced slow with Jake. Rusty fetched sticks for kids. As dusk fell, lanterns lit, the world felt vast, possible. Caleb and Nathan slipped away at moonrise, to their half-built home, walls echoing promise. In bed, tangled and true, Caleb traced Nathan's jaw. Broke us open, but we mended stronger. Nathan's smile, that first one from the fair, bloomed. Yeah, we did. And in the quiet of new beginnings, love whispered, enough.